Deontay Wilder returns to action on Friday, the 27th of June in Wichita, Kansas, against a guy called Tyrrell Herndon. Never heard of this guy before, but we can have a look at his record here. He is 24-5 with 15 KO wins. 4 of his 5 losses have come by knockout. From the United States, 37 years of age, 6'3" in height. Now, there is nobody on his record on the win column that you'll recognize. So there's no point in even talking about this guy's wins. I will, however, show you his losses because some of them are names that you will recognize. Not this guy. The first person he lost to was someone called Shamarian Snyder. Some of these names are crazy. Who was 4-1-1 at the time, 30 years of age. He stopped Tyrrell Herndon in the 3rd round. Knocked him out. His next loss was to a debuting Efe Ajagba. This was back in 2017. Ajagba knocked him out in the 1st round. His next loss was to Brandon Glanton, a 26-year-old at the time who was 4-0. He beat Herndon by 3rd round disqualification. His next loss was to a guy called Corey Barlow, who is 2-4-2, right? He stopped Tyrrell Herndon in the 1st round. That's a crazy name, Corey Barlow. That is a crazy name, folks. And then his most recent loss was against Richard Torres Jr., who most of you will be familiar with. He stopped Tyrrell Herndon in the 2nd round. So whenever this guy has fought anybody with a pulse, he's got stopped. The question is, does Deontay Wilder still have a pulse? Because this is a guy who has had a torrid time over the past few years. Deontay Wilder has lost 4 of his last 5 fights. He hasn't won a fight for 3 years. And this is why I've got no issue with him fighting an opponent the level of Tyrrell Herndon. Because Deontay Wilder really should retire, in my opinion anyway. I think he's completely finished. He's washed. He's 39 years of age. He's been inactive over the past few years. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. 2 of them have been devastating knockout defeats. His confidence is absolutely rock bottom. You only have to look at the Joseph Parker fight, and in particular the Zhilei Zhang fight to see that. So under the circumstances, even though I think he should retire, if he wants to fight on, I can't blame him for taking on a Tyrrell Herndon in a confidence builder, because God knows he needs some confidence builders. He might need to have several fights like this before he goes in there against anybody with a pulse, even a fringe world level guy. Because if Wilder is to carry on, he's never going to be what he used to be. We know that. Tyson Fury ruined him. But if he is to carry on, and if he is to fight anybody with a pulse in future, I at least want to see him go in there with some confidence. Because then it will make it somewhat entertaining when he starts to sling those big right hands and whatnot. I don't ever want to see the version of Deontay Wilder who fought Zhilei Zhang ever step in a boxing ring again. Totally one-sided. Wilder cowering anytime Zhilei Zhang started to let his hands go. It looked awful. I want to see Deontay Wilder start swinging back with some fire from early. I want to see some confidence in his body language. And if we're to ever see that, as I say, he's going to need some confidence builders. Now, some people are going to say, well, hang on, you're saying it's too late for AJ to have confidence builders now and come back and do X, Y, Z. Yeah, the whole idea of the AJ rebuilding process previously was about him potentially getting back to his best. I wanted to see whether he still had that in him. But evidently, after what happened against Daniel Dubois, he didn't have it in him. AJ, to me, is like a fight or 2 away. I think he should retire now, same like Wilder. But if he insists on continuing, he should understand his level. But the young guys, the Dubois and people like that, leave them alone, bro. Same like Deontay Wilder should leave those guys alone, in my opinion. The comeback for Wilder, at least in my head, is about, him maybe getting a fight against one of his contemporaries. It's not about him getting back to his best. I think he's never going to get back to his best. His best is long gone. I mean, I think there would have been a greater chance of AJ getting back to his best because of the fact he's younger than Wilder and because of the fact that he's technically better than Wilder. Deontay Wilder has always been so technically poor that his power, his will to win, that tremendous fire that he had in him, the fighting spirit, that was far more important to Deontay Wilder's success. It was a far bigger component in his success than it would be in, let's say, an Anthony Joshua's success or a Tyson Fury or fighters who are more technical than Wilder. They've got technique, a certain amount at least, to fall back on as they age. Whereas Deontay Wilder doesn't have that, which makes it more perilous for him, especially since the fire within him seems to have, if not been extinguished, then at least severely diminished. So if Wilder's going to get back in there against even a fringe contender, somebody with a pulse, I want to see him with a bit of confidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, yo, we can't have that same Wilder who fought Zhang getting back in there. That's not fun. That's not entertaining. I mean, the knockout was fun and entertaining, but what preceded the knockout was not. It was kind of sad. So I got no issue with him knocking over a couple of pies to get his confidence up a little bit and then, maybe take on someone in the top 20. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Deontay Wilder taking on Tyrrell Herndon, a habitual loser. And look, this is a fight that Deontay Wilder should be able to regain his confidence in. If he can't, and obviously worse comes to worse, he gets knocked out or beaten by Tyrrell Herndon, then he will be a dead horse that surely no promoter out there will want to even try and flog. Now, I should just say this fight is in obscurity in Wichita, Kansas. Some people are mocking that and saying how it's funny. Yeah, it is kind of funny, but much of Deontay Wilder's early career was in obscurity as well. He was fighting in Alabama and many of the southern states against rednecks and whatnot, people who look like they've been literally pulled out of the crowd or pulled out of a bar. And that process of building Deontay Wilder's confidence as a young heavyweight worked. It was a long process that went on for several years, and by the time he stepped up and fought somebody with a pulse, I think he'd had over 30 fights. He obviously is not going to take that long, well, I would assume anyway, in this particular phase of his career. He might have 2 or 3 fights maybe in obscurity. And one of the things that I think will probably help Wilder is there won't be so much pressure on him because this is not a big Riyadh season card. This is not a big card in New York or Vegas, right? This is somewhere in the middle of nowhere, a backwater in Wichita, Kansas. And I'm sure there will be locals who turn out of curiosity to watch Deontay Wilder presumably headlining this very obscure show. But yeah, it won't be anything like the pressure that Deontay Wilder is used to. And so without the pressure, without all the eyes on him against the soft opponent, maybe we'll see some glimpses of the old bronze bomber, you know? Maybe we'll see that southern jig that he used to do. Remember when Wilder used to knock people out and then he'd do this like weird southern jig type thing? He's like spinning around in circles in the ring. Wilder is just so country, it's unbelievable. But anyway, are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.